Welcome back, everybody, to Confidential. Here we are today, and I've got a massive lineup for you guys today. So, last Totally episode, if you saw that, if you haven't, I'll tell you right here. So, I said that I actually made that bad remark that a few episodes ago, a few more episodes, and then we're gonna be doing two serials, also two Totally episodes on a different thing. That is actually wrong. There's gonna be 4 more episodes because there's 7 parts. This is actually the 4th part, which I'm told to say. So episode 8 of Totally will be on something different. But let me just explain. This is a rush. Okay. Let me just explain what's gonna happen, and then we'll start the content episode, and I'll tell you everything. All will be said. So here. So basically, last Totally episode, I said that only 3 more episodes, and then we can talk. And then we use 2 of Totally episodes to talk about something different. Well, no, that's not going to happen, and that's the same for Confidential as well. Because I can't do math. Actually, this episode will be about the half of 2 episodes. Episode 9, this goes for Totally, by the way, as well. Episode 9 will be about half of Alex. Episode 10 will be about the future of Half-Life. Then episode 11, which will be the final, I believe, episode of the Year-Long Alarm. I will double check this though, and also you will see as well in the coming episodes. Episode 11 will be the final episode of Year Long Alarms, so that'll be last remarks. Anything else I want to talk about? So yeah, thank you all for sticking with me. Hopefully you guys don't think I'm mad because I can't count. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, there's that. So yeah, let's just start the episode, shall we? Now we've got everything out of the way, and if you're still confused, just go along with the flow. Yeah, thumbs up. Anyway, let's start the episode, shall we? So, let's talk about the Half-Life 2 episodes for today's episode. That makes sense. So, we're going to be talking about Half-Life 2 episode 1, and also about Half-Life 2 episode 2. And also the elusive Half-Life 2 episode 3. So, let's talk about Half-Life 2 episode 1. The expansion pack. Essentially, the expansion from Half-Life 2. It's not an expansion pack, I would say. I'd say it's its own kind of, it's a different game, I'd say. I mean, you could also say that for the other expansion packs I talked about last episode, but for now, I'm just going to say they're separate games. They're separate episodes. So sadly, obviously, because they've been hidden from the Half-Life 2 store, really hard to find out when they came out. So yeah, bear with me, because now I've got to track them down. Thankfully, there's a little soundtrack, so I can figure out exactly when the games came out, because now I can actually find them in here. So yes, Half-Life 2 Episode 1 came out on the 1st of June 2006, and it is incredible. Essentially, this is really cool. So Half-Life 2 Episode 2 is its own standalone game. It doesn't require Half-Life 2 and that kind of stuff as well. And essentially, it's about Gordon and Alex trying to escape City 17. Kind of like you're entering City 17 in the first one, now you're trying to escape it. So yeah, really cool. And also, as I mentioned last time with the Half-Life 2 Lost Coast, some of the visuals from Lost Coast are now being portrayed in these episodes as well. So the lighting is way better, there is way more to the game, it's just going incredible. So yeah, it's really good, really like this. So yeah, essentially, Half-Life 2 episode 1 is probably the weakest of the episodes. I know it's not a great thing to say, relatively only 2 episodes. But yeah, episode 1 was honestly a fan favourite for just being the weakest. It essentially didn't bring anything that new to the table. I mean, obviously it's a whole new game, that's really cool. And there was some new additions to the game as well, like for example the Combine, using like tight ropes to jump down the buildings. But yeah, and other stuff as well. But apart from that, yeah, honestly, episode 1 was a bit of a downfall. Apart from the apart from the boss battle though, it's at the end. As I said, a few other things in episode 1, but yeah, it wasn't as good as Half-Life 2 episode 2 though. But yeah, honestly, if it still holds up as like one of the best games ever, and you could probably rank it next to Half-Life 2 just for how good it is. I mean, obviously, anything that comes after Half-Life 2 related, is actually going to be very good. But yeah, I'm not trying to be biased here, but I'm just saying, like, normally the Half-Life 2 episodes are still just incredible. So yeah, honestly, I'd say it's the weakest of the Half-Life 2 games, but it is still a great play. It has a lot of cool things added, and yeah, I think it's a very good thing to play as well. It's very fun, and yeah. And also, just gonna say, the gravity gun will be your best friend throughout these episodes. So like, yeah, I'm so happy they introduced that into the Half-Life 2 game, and then introduced it back into the episodes. But yeah, also, I think it's really interesting how they're doing episodes or episodic kind of format in order to like give more people games to play Half-Life related, and then never announce a Half-Life game until like 13 years later. It's funny, but yeah, yeah, it's interesting marketing, yeah. But yeah, no, Half-Life 2 Episode 1 is honestly, I'd say it's a good play if you want to have more Half-Life, but it isn't as good as what Episode 2 brings to the table, which, mind you, isn't as much as I talked about Half-Life 1 about. So, I mean, but the thing is though, about Half-Life 2 Episode 2, which, came out on 10th of October 2007, so, a year after Episode 1, yeah, for a year gap, it does bring a few more things to the table. For example, I'm going to go into heavy spoiler territory, so please play Half-Life 2 Episode 2 if you haven't already. A very good play, and then come back here and, I don't know, giving more watch time. But yeah, Half-Life 2 Episode 2 has the final battle, which is a Strider battle, and you thought, oh yeah, it'll be easy. Then they added hunters into the game, and a bomb you had to put on the Strider instead of RPGs. And also you have to shoot it as well before it detonates, and the hunters can shoot it off. But don't worry, there's a load of stuff you can do to make sure those hunters don't ruin it. There's a lot. Okay, so basically, let's just go over the game step by step. So, it doesn't bring much to the table apart from a few more mechanics, like with Half-Life 2 Episode 1. I believe the antlion what they called? The antlion workers, the ones that spit. Ones like what they called, the bull squids from Half-Life 1. I think that's what they get. I think that's what the inspiration was. Those were a cool addition, but being really annoying. And yeah, it's really interesting to see that there's like different antlions also as well, including that antlion guardian as well, which is like because you got the normal one, right, the normal big one, and then you got the green one for the antlion workers. So I think that's really cool. It's like you got different kind of rankings, and you can see that by like size and also color, which I think is really cool for the antlion to like further flesh out the antlion species and kind of how like they connect and all that kind of stuff. I think it's really cool. And then also there's obviously, well, for example, we actually got a Vortigon ally with us most of the time, which I think is really cool, because having the Vortigon allies fight with us, I think it's really cool because they're very overpowered. Obviously not for long though, but yeah, it's still really cool. And yeah, he doesn't fight as much as you think, but it still does, he's still a really good guy to have on your side, so yeah. And yeah, Vortigons are very powerful. But yeah, so yeah, and then at this final Strider battle that I talked about, there is a whole lot going on. So firstly, you're driving up to the buildings, like vroom, vroom, and then you talk to these guys. Strider inbound. Okay, let's just throw the bomb on them and get rid of them. But apparently, they're arriving with packs of 3 hunters. So what do you have to do? You can either shoot the hunters, you get to run them over as well, which is the instant kill, which I found really fun. Or you can also let others kill them, but that's not really good. And then once you kill them, then you are free to kill the Strider, unless you're really fast, just like pushing the bomb in there and shooting it. But yeah, that requires you to be like lightning fast and hope there's like no hunters nearby, and the hunters are only shooting to you, and it's very annoying. And also they can shoot out your hands whenever, like they will shoot bombs whenever. Like, not when it's on the Strider, they'll just shoot it out of your hands, and it's so annoying. So yeah, the hunters were a pain. Them adding the hunters was such a pain, but yeah, it makes the game so much more tense. And there's actually an achievement for not letting all the Striders destroy all the buildings in Half-Life 2 Episode 2. I haven't done it yet, and I dread to think that I have to do that. So yeah, can't wait for that. Anyway, yeah, there's that. So yeah, really cool. And yeah, fun. Yay, I love Half-Life. Yay! I feel like Half-Life 2 Episode 2 though is a great watch, and the ending is very sad. And honestly, I think it's I think that we're going to talk about Half-Life Alyx, by the way. I'll be able to further talk about Half-Life 2 Episode 2 something really cool. And funny enough, because I don't own a VR headset because I'm poor, I haven't actually played Half-Life Alyx before. So if I'm biased on that, if I'm biased on anything Half-Life Alyx based, and that's why. When I get to talk about Half-Life Alyx, I get to talk about a bit more about the Half-Life 2 ending. So please make sure you play Half-Life 2 and Episode 2, get to the ending, so I can at least talk about Half-Life Alyx in next episode, on Next Confidential and next Coach as well. But yeah, a lot. But yeah, that's I do implore that you do play those games. They are very fun. And yeah, honestly, that's all I can really talk about though for Half-Life 2 episodes until I heard about Episode 3. So Episode 3 was obviously not released, but it was in development. Now, biased. There's a little list online. There's a whole list of different source games you can find. I'm trying to find it right now. It's very hard. But yeah, there's a game. There's like a little website I'm trying to find, which literally dictates every single game that uses source. I think I found it. Nope, this is not the one I'm looking for. But yeah, I'm trying to find this. Yeah, essentially there is a thing that I found where like it's a whole list of source games, and Half-Life 2 Episode 3 was in fact on there. So yeah, it's very interesting to see how the Half-Life, how many games are. Well, firstly, how many games are using source, but also like how many games that use source that were never released. For example, Half-Life 2 Episode 3. Now, I think if I remember correctly, technically, unless this was Half-Life 3, which was also worked on by the way, funnily enough, but I think unless this was Half-Life 3, it was actually using the Source 2 engine, and a beta version of it that wasn't correctly made yet. So they tried to work on the Source 2 engine, which I understand because it's Half-Life 3. We want to use a different engine like you did for Half-Life 2. But obviously it wasn't working. So yeah, apparently the Source 2 engine was too undeveloped, I believe, from what I remember. I can't find the thing, by the way. But yeah, from what I remember, it was too undeveloped and it wasn't working as developers wanted it to. So they had to not stop using it for Half-Life 2 Episode 2, Episode 3 even, which is probably one of the reasons why we never got Episode 3. But yeah, I think it was starting to be made around like 2011 or something like that. So like a few years after the Half-Life 2 episode. So like it was planned. Like the Half-Life 3 isn't a joke. It was a thing, and it may even be a thing. But yeah, for a time they were actually working on Half-Life 2 Episode 3 as well as Half-Life 2. As well as Half-Life 3. They were working on them, but apparently it just never came to fruition, which kind of sucks. Because I don't know. I like Half-Life 3, and I'm sure you would as well. But yeah, that's all really I can talk about though, because there's not actually that much information on Half-Life 3 or Half-Life 2 Episode 3 as well that I know of. Yeah, anyway, that's all I can talk about though. Thank you for watching. Have a great one, and I'll see you all in the next episode where we will be talking about Half-Life Alyx. Except not as much because I haven't actually played Half-Life Alyx yet, so I can't wait to do that. Anyway, yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great day. As I said before, can you believe it's nearly the end of Confidential Series 3? I don't want it to end. No, I always look back to this one comment I got. It was like, your voice is really beautiful. And you know what? Whoever commented that, thank you so much. And don't worry, next week, again, new episode, new Confidential, new Totally.